Hi, I'm Matthew Malcolm with Pacific Nut Producer Magazine, reporting to you from Selma, where Jim Zion explained the current state of the pistachio industry, both in California and the world. Here he is.
A lot of confusion on the market right now at this point, mainly because of the uncertainty over the 2014 crop, and we can talk about that ad nauseum. The estimate on the crop was a low of 475 million pounds to a high of 625 million pounds. So peg it in the middle, 550. That was the number we used when we did the supply-demand scenario. The Iranian crop has an estimate as high as 500 million pounds to possibly 600 million pounds, and if that holds true, this may be the first time in about 7 years that Iran has produced more than California, the U.S. Most observers feel that's probably too optimistic, that they're probably closer to a 400 to 450 million pound crop. So when you look at the potential carryover in California, the fact that Iran, they always have a little bit of carryover, but no one really knows what it is, and it's usually used internally, plus a little bit odds and ends around. We are probably in a supply situation slightly higher than we had last year, depending on what happens with the California crop, to be quite honest with you. And that's the swing factor going forward. A lot of buyers are confused. They don't know what direction to go. A lot of discussion about these new levels of pricing for dried fruits and nuts. I mean, all of us could sit here and say, thank God for these high prices. The general feeling is that consumers have accepted these higher prices. They've seen everything else that they buy go up. Gas has gone up. Just the general cost of living. Why not dried fruits and nuts? So I think most consumers understand that these prices, maybe not as high as they are today, but these prices are here to stay. It's the trade in the middle that's having a hard time to come to grips that this is the new reality. I'll be quite honest with you. And that marketing channel is squeezing pretty rapidly because of these higher prices. But we do find that consumers will start to accept these new prices, and we have yet to ever grow a pound of pistachio almonds in the ocean or feed them to cattle. So someone's actually eating these. So going forward, demand's been fairly strong. We do see China still buying quite a bit. Right now, 1 out of every 4 nuts in the U.S., produced in the U.S., are going to China. We do see some increasing demand in the Middle East. And the funny thing in the Middle East, especially in Dubai and some of those areas, they don't mind paying the higher prices. In fact, they prefer the higher prices because they want the better product. Some of the stores that we deal with, they actually are bulk sellers. They will put out pistachios, almonds, and things in a bulk bin, visually look at them, and they will actually have consumers that will come in and pick each individual nut they want to buy. Price is not an object. I love those type of customers. As soon as a customer says price is not an object, that's my kind of customer. Unfortunately, he doesn't buy 40 million pounds. But that's some of the new realities. Also, despite sometimes I still question it, the demand for kernels is increasing. We cannot keep up with the demand for kernels. Not only as an ingredient, you're finding it more in trail mixes. Kraft with their Men's Health mix has done a fantastic job of getting kernels out and people wanting to buy more kernels. So we have been really trying to keep up with the demand in kernels. We do anticipate the U.S. market starting to come back up. We did see a slip a little bit, but we think with some of the promotions, not only on the branded side, but on the generic side, we'll see that come back up. So for the most part, very optimistic on the sales side. On the buying side, they just want to know what the crop's going to be, and honestly, none of us can tell them at this point. We told most of the buyers, we'll talk to you sometime after the 4th of July. Saying that the demand is there, they definitely want to book coming forward, so I'm pretty optimistic going forward where we're going to be at. My only concern is that if we do have a crop under 500 million pounds, price is one issue. It's just the fact that there's none of pistachios. And the last thing I want is the sales and marketing guys to have your product come off the shelf. Because trust me, there's someone there that wants to take that place, what we call the share of stomach. And we've had a lot of discussions this at APG. You always want that product out in front of that consumer.
Thank you, Jim. Stay current on the global supply and demand for pistachios by reading Pacific Nut Producer Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.